What's going on, everybody? Jesse here, and welcome back. In today's short video, we're going to fix a bug that was brought to my attention in the Discord channel from GVM UK. This is a drag and drop bug that occurs when recombining similar items within an inventory. It's easily reproducible, so let's go ahead and show you what this bug is. If we come over here and pick up any item into the world, it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it has a quantity greater than 2, as well as the max stack is greater than 1. So you can see here with the bread, we got a max stack size of 3, so we can split this down and reproduce this bug. So you can do this here in either your single player inventory, or you can come over here to a storage unit, and it doesn't matter if you're swapping within the same inventory or across multiple inventories. What we need to do here, since this is a max stack, I'm going to split this down, and again, you could drop it here or in the separate inventory. I'm just going to drop it right over there. Come back here now. If I take either one of these and drop them to combine it, I can combine it here, or I can come over here and combine it here. It doesn't matter as long as it's able to fill in that slot. So now I just drop it on there. It combined it. Now we come over here to the original slot, and when we click and drag, you're going to see that we have a ghost or phantom item that can now be moved around. It doesn't happen on any other slots. It's just this one particular item. So I could take this bread, drop it on top of that slot, and now it's moved it over here. You can also take this, you can move it in between inventories just like this, and you have it. The other problem is now you could take this and drop it into the world, and it's going to display the default mesh for your main parent item class. That's going to be it right there, but we can also just do this over and over again. So if I go here and I recombined, you can see I've got this again. So it's easily reproducible. Drop it, and you can just continue to do this over and over. Now, this isn't going to give you extra items. This isn't a duplication bug. If I come over here and were to pick these up, when they enter the inventory, because they're a quantity of 0, they're just going to disappear within the inventory because that's the way we have the code set up. Now, I kind of knew about this when I was programming it and just kind of forgot about it because it's not something that easily noticeable when you're just doing the small testing like I'm doing inside the videos. So thank you to GVM UK for bringing this to our attention. Let's go ahead and fix this bug. All right, before we get started here, I want to take a second and thank the community. First, I'd like to thank GVM UK, who found the bug and brought it to our attention, and then most importantly to Weirdone, who took the time out of his day to not only assist GVM UK in isolating the bug, but also coming up with a reasonable solution to fix his problem. If you haven't met Weirdone yet, he is a moderator over on the Discord channel, and he has been an absolute godsend not only to me and the channel, but to you in the community as well. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, then go ahead and jump on over there. Link is down in the description. Say hi and thank Weirdone for all that he does for you and the rest of the community. All right, let's go ahead and fix this bug. All right, so here we are in the AC inventory component inside the on drag drop function. So let's just quickly remind ourselves a little bit of what is going on when this function is called. So when we call on drag drop, this is when we are actually dropping an item onto a slot. Is we're coming in here, and this beginning functionality we created when we did the split stack. This is what we created for the split stack functionality. We come in here, we take the drag slot, and then we're just checking quantities. We're changing the quantities, and we're updating the quantity of the slot that we're actually dragging around to match the remainder of the original slot. So that's what we're doing right in here. And then we're coming in here and we're checking, are the items the same? Since this is a recombined bug, we're going to come in here, we're going to say true. Right here, I made a comment. This is the combined similar items. So whenever we're combining similar items, this is the branch we're going to be in. So then we add the item to the new slot. If there is any remainder, meaning we dragged more onto a slot than the slot can handle, then we're going to add the remaining items into a different slot or drop them into the world, depends on what occurs with that. And if not, if we don't have any remainder, we're going to come down here into the false, and we're just going to update the inventories right there to reflect a successful drag drop. What Weirdone did for the solution, and it is a perfectly viable solution, is he came in here on the false, and then he checked the quantity of the under dragged slot, and if the quantity was 0, then he physically removed the item from the inventory, and that was perfectly acceptable. It fixed the problem. UVMK had no issues. When I had an opportunity to review the bug myself, I realized where the bug was at, and I was able to squish it in its original intended location to not cause the bug. So where that comes back to, let's go back here to the very beginning, and it is going to be in the update quantity. Now remember, this update quantity is just updating the quantity of the drag slot. Before we get to this on drag drop function, back in the slot widget, we actually change the quantity of the under drag slot there. We physically hard change it there within that functionality. So that way, when we enter here, we have the correct quantity that is remaining back in the original slot, and then here we just update the quantity into the dragged slot here. So let's go ahead and open up the update quantity. All right, so the fix in here is actually pretty simple, and it's pretty close to what Weirdone did on the outside, but we're going to do it on the inside here where it was intended to be. So when we're updating the quantity, we're bringing in, even though this is the dragged item slot, remember it carries the information, or most of the information, from the original slot, which is the under drag slot. So we're getting the item, the index location from that. We're getting from our under drag. Remember, we're calling this all on the under drag. So this is getting the items within the under drag slot, getting that information, and then we're setting the new quantity in here, and then we are exiting the function. So all we need to do now is we need to add a check. So I'm going to create a little bit of space in here, drag this back, and we're going to throw in a branch, take the true, and we're going to plug that into the original code here. But off the false, we're going to have to run another function, which is one we already have. We can just come in here and we can set the member information directly, but we already have a function that does that for us. It is called remove item. So on the false, plug in remove item. The item we want to remove is the one we're passing in. So just type item. All the way down at the bottom of the list here will be get item, plug that in there, and then just plug this into the return node right there. So now the condition we want to check is we want to take the new quantity, duplicate that, and we will go, is it greater than 0? Plug that into the condition. And if it's greater than 0, then we want to continue. But if the new quantity is not greater than 0, then we want to remove the item just like that. And this should work. So let's go ahead and test this out. All right, so let's go ahead and pick up the bread, and I'm going to open up the storage inventory. Again, you don't have to. It happens in any of the inventories. I'm just doing it because this is how I showed you guys the bugs. So I'm going to split the stack, drop it over here, take this one, and I'm going to drag it back on top. And there you go. You can see we no longer have any ghost items. So double check here, any ghost item here? Nope, no ghost item there. So this bug is squished. If you guys have any bugs of your own, any questions, comments, concerns, or you just want to come over and say hi and thank Weirdone for all the work he does for the community, then jump on over into the Discord. Links are down in the description. I hope you guys found this useful, and until the next one, peace.